Have you ever struggled to articulate the Trinity? Because if so, I'm about to make it easy to understand. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube page. My name is Eric, and if you're new here, I make Christian videos on life, apologetics, and current events. So if you're new here and you like this video, give it a like and a thumbs up, and consider subscribing. Today, we're going to be talking about the Trinity. Most Christians do at least believe in the Trinity, which is that God the Father is God, Jesus is God, and the Holy Spirit is God. And yet, Christianity is still considered one of the great monotheistic religions. How does that work? So if you're a person who at least wants to understand a bit more about the Trinity, this is the video for you. The Trinity, as articulated by the Nicene Creed and Orthodox Christology, is the idea that God is one in being and three in person. Now, what does that mean? When I say being, the word being means that essentially it is my body or my nature in that way. For example, I'm a person. I have a physical body that is, it has limited height and limited weight, and that is my being. Now, a rock also has being. It doesn't have person, though. I am a person. I have consciousness. I know who I am. But a rock doesn't have that. Now, God has only one being. There is only one being out there that has omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresence. Now, due to the fact that God's being is not limited by physical dimensions like ours are, God is capable of having three persons in his one being. I cannot fit three separate consciousnesses or three minds into my one being because of my limited nature. God is not like that. It has no limits on physical dimensions. It is spirit. Therefore, it can have multiple consciousness, multiple points of consciousness. In other words, there is the Holy Spirit. He shares and has the experience and has access to the one divine being or divine body of God. The Father, the first consciousness, also has full access to the one being or body that is omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. And Jesus also has the same access that the Father and the Holy Spirit have as well. Now, it may be difficult for us to realize that, but the thing is, we live with the presupposition, we have the experiential presupposition that only one person can fit in one body. For example, I am just a person. I can't fit, my brother and some other person inside of my same body. They're persons due to the fact that we have a physical nature. We are limited, and we can only have one person inside of our body. God does not share this limitation. His being is spirit. It is not limited by physical dimensions. It is spirit, and it does not, and it can house three distinct persons. And they each have their own experiences in different ways. For example, Jesus, the second person of the Trinity, his consciousness temporarily, according to the book of Philippians, actually came down and experienced what it was like to be a human being. Now, Jesus could still access his power whenever he needed it for his mission, but the Holy Spirit has not experienced, for example, the temporary limitations of being in a human physical body. Jesus has. The Father has not experienced that. So they are distinct from one another, but they still inhabit the same being. Now, I cannot give you a divine anatomy lesson on, like, exactly how, each and every individual part works. But what we can do is essentially know what the basic concept is. For example, if somebody 2,000 years ago, they wouldn't nearly have the same understanding about the complexity of the eye that we do. But they still know that your eyes are what allow you to see. They may not be able to explain all of the intricate mechanisms that make up the eye, but they still have a rudimentary understanding that your eyes see, and without your eyes, you can't see. In the same way, it's with God that we can't understand, like, the exact way and the exact, like, anatomy that God has, because God is spirit, in his eternal nature. God is eternal. But we can understand at least the rudimentary concept of the fact that God is not limited, like we are, to only having one person available to inhabit his one being. The reason Christianity is considered a monotheistic religion is because there are not three separate omnipotent and omniscient beings floating around competing with one another. They are not just three people who want to work together. They are one in the sense that they inhabit the same body or being. They all inhabit that same thing. And again, they are all one in that sense. So it still is only one God, but there are three persons who have access to the one divine being of God. Now again, I didn't want to go into huge amounts of biblical support for the Trinity in this video, because again, that will be for another time, and also I primarily wanted to allow you to understand the concept a bit more easily before I showed that it is what the scriptures actually teach. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed making it. I probably will be doing a bit shorter videos because a lot of people seem to like them better. So I will still do some long videos more often than not. As I said, I am working on some video responses to atheists currently, but again, I have to live up to my name and investigate things properly, so you will see them very soon. Bye, everyone.